Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world. Good morning. How the hell are we all doing today on this beautiful little Tuesday? Welcome back to the world's #1 smoke sesh. My name is Hannah, your host. If you don't know me, welcome. We are so happy to have you here. If you do know me, which a lot of you already do, hi girls. I'm so happy to be back. Today is like an extra comfy, cozy episode. Okay, I've really been in, I know every time I get on this podcast, fall, seasonal fall. Listen, I'm supposed to indulge in the comforts of the season, okay? And I woke up this morning and I stepped foot out of bed. There was a chill in the air. You know when you wake up and your toes are cold and you're like, ooh, it's getting to be fall, it's getting to be winter. I love that. It makes it feel so nostalgic. I feel like a child again, getting up out of bed. And all I want to do, honestly, when I feel that way is just like sit down with a nice hot cup of coffee, chill, enjoy the morning. And that's exactly what I did today. Today's kind of like my last day off for a little bit, actually quite a bit of time. So I've really been indulging this past week in just honestly doing nothing. I love doing nothing. In fact, it's probably one of my favorite things to do. But I do realize when I do too much of nothing, it becomes quite counterproductive to my overall mental health because I start driving myself insane. You ever sit there and you're like, holy shit, I'm going crazy? It's probably because you've been doing nothing for too long. Actually, when I was younger and I first started developing my signs of depression, I found that I was falling deeper and deeper into a depression and into those spiraling thought processes. Of course, because like I was a child going through hormonal changes, that's a lot to deal with. Also taking on, mental health things that were passed down for me, but also I was doing nothing. And having all of those thoughts and those feelings to just sit and think about all the time, honestly, not the healthiest thing to do. Luckily, now I'm older and I do have a pretty good grasp and grip, a tight little fucking grip on my mental health. And doing nothing is usually very productive. But I do find myself sometimes being like, why am I going down these weird, deep, dark rabbit holes that I don't need to be going down? It's because I'm bored. And I think a lot of like the compulsion scrolling comes from a need to do something but a lack of doing it. And it's so much easier just get on our phone and collect images and collect content and scroll. But really what your brain wants you to do is get the fuck up and do something. It could be anything, okay? It could be cleaning your bathroom. It could be going for a walk, simply stepping outside your apartment. It could be making yourself breakfast, stepping away from the phone and picking up a book, reading a chapter. That compulsion, I think, is really your brain telling you that you just need to do something and ideally do something productive. So I've been feeling that way recently, and although this week I have a very, very busy week, I'm working like double the amount of hours I've ever worked. I have a lot of family coming into town that I haven't seen for a while. I'm celebrating my brother and my nephew's birthday. There's a lot going on, but it's gonna be good because I've had a lot of energy that has been displaced, and I'm excited to finally place it again. And I don't think I'm gonna be overwhelmed, but I think it's gonna feel good to be overwhelmed, good to be tired. Sometimes, especially after exhausting yourself mentally so much and like being alone and constantly exhausting yourself through your thought processes, having a distraction and being able to be exhausted by the real world, real experiences, all that jazz feels so much better. Like I love going to bed at the end of the night, like tired, ready to lay down and pass the fuck out. Not like I'm going to lay down and then be up for 3 hours playing Dress to Impress. Speaking of phone addictions, yeah, love that game. Anyways, it's going to be a good week. It's going to be great. Speaking of, I'm uploading this on Tuesday, so I think I have a new recipe posted if everything goes well today. My plan today is actually to go to the grocery store and then do a little baking. I have one more fall recipe, a baking fall recipe that I want to share with you guys. It's essentially just like a puff pastry Danish, like a cream cheese Danish, but with toasted cinnamon apples on top. Girl, I do not come to play with my food, okay? When it comes to food, I smoke a lot, so if my food's not good, I'm gonna have an attitude. It's just part of the game. So anything that I cook and share with you guys, which all of my recipes I post on Instagram, they're good, I promise. And they're also very, very easy, very beginner friendly. I put every fucking step in those captions because I hate when I'm scrolling on something and I see something yummy and I'm like, oh, I would love to make that. And then it's like recipe below and I click and then it's like, okay, now go click the link in my bio and then pay $5 and then you get to see the recipe. Bitch, shut up. Like, people don't know how to cook and there's so much joy that comes from cooking. Like, make cooking recipes free again. Hello. So I always include every single step-by-step instruction, temperature, item in the caption so it is friendly for everybody to enjoy and consume, because I want you guys to enjoy the same way that I do. And best believe I love to eat, that's for sure. Anyways, as you can tell, my coffee's really kicking in. Having a good morning, very chill, very relaxed. Today is Monday. It's Indigenous Peoples Day, so I think a lot of people have the day off, which will be interesting. Not really planning on leaving my house, but I am planning on just getting everything in order so this week goes well for me. So that is very fun and very exciting, and a big part of that is hanging out with you guys, setting the vibes for the week, and seeing what's on your mind. So with that being said, enough of my chit chat. Let's get into everything that's on your minds. Actually, I have a story for you guys. I totally forgot about this situation. Last week, it's football season, it's fall season. I'm looking for some hoodies. I live in Kansas City. Like, I want a little Chiefs hoodie or whatever. Like, I want to be comfy, cozy the next couple months. When I get a text from the local thrift shop saying, oh, vintage Chiefs drop. Friday, 9 a.m. I'm like, okay, I have Friday morning off. You know, I can get up and I can go check out what they have going there. Like, sure, I would love to. That'll be great. What a great morning. You know, my nephew is a Chiefs fan. Like, he loves sports. Like, I'm going to go get him a little kid-sized sweater. I'm going to go get me a sweater. Like, I'm going to go just have a good time and enjoy my morning at the thrift store. Like, okay, it's 9 a.m. Maybe there's going to be some people there who are going to, like, really want it the same way I do. I get up early anyways. Like, I might as well just be there, like, 5 minutes early or whatever. I get there. I walk up to the doors. I see five grown men in high-water pants, at least $300 shoes, piercings everywhere, neck tattoos, Carhartts. I was like, oh, fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Like, why are these men practically trying to pry the doors open 5 minutes before opening? Also, like, what is their plan? I'm a little scared because I can't physically fight these guys. And, like, what the fuck are they going to do? I get in line. I'm waiting my turn. They're, like, trying to, like, stand as close to the door as they possibly can. A fire marshal walks up. Okay, fire marshal walks up. The people that are inside the building go to, like, open the door to let the fire marshal in. These men start pushing this fire marshal, who's a lady, by the way, like, out of the way, trying to get in. They're like, no. Like, she has to come in here to check the fire hydrants or whatever the fuck. Like, we're not open yet. You guys cannot come in here. Let her in. They're like, oh, sorry. Okay. They take a step back. Doors close. 2 minutes later, it's 9 a.m. They are unlocking the doors. I have never seen grown men move this fast in my entire life. They sprinted in this thrift store, grabbed every single item that was hanging up on every single rack and the walls, snatched it all down. We're throwing hangers. We're pushing babies in strollers out of the way. We're shoving grandmas who were working there, snatched everything gone in 30 seconds. I hate vintage resellers. I fucking hate them. I cannot. Oh my God. Literally, like, I get we all need to make a bag. I get it. Rent's due. We all gotta pay our bills. But what the fuck is that? Men used to go to war. Men used to go to war and die. And now you're shoving old ladies over and pushing infants in strollers out of the way to get a hoodie. They each left with at least 3 carts of vintage Chiefs hoodies. I did not get one. I was 2 people behind them. What the actual fuck is that? Now at this point, I got trust issues with these vintage resellers, because this has been like one of the bad things that's happened with me with vintage resellers, because fuck you. You're grabbing a $15 hoodie that I was going in there to buy my nephew, and you're gonna quadruple the price and sell it for $150. What the fuck? And all the people behind you that want to get a hoodie, you see them, you say, fuck you, good luck. Hell no. Death. I wish death. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Oh my God. Nothing has ever pissed me off as bad as that situation there. No trust for vintage resellers anymore, because what the actual fuck? Also, I made the mistake. There's this girl who's very sweet, very kind. She's like, oh, what are your favorite thrift stores to go to? And I'm like, this girl seems like a cool girl. I like to tell everybody about it because I want everybody to have good finds, whatever. Usually the people I'm talking to are like shopping for themselves. I'm like, oh yeah, I shop at this, this thrift store. She's a vintage reseller. She goes there every day and takes everything out of the fucking store. And since then, like, I have not been able to find good things. Oh my God, I cannot do it anymore. I cannot. It stresses me out so much. Like, leave something for the rest of us girlies. Leave something for the girlies who are not trying to make a bag and simply want to have style. It pisses me off. And PSA, if you're a vintage reseller, I'm not coming for you. Obviously, with any sort of job and any sort of experience, there's going to be good and bad. And unfortunately, I have met a lot of the bad people when it comes to vintage reselling. But those men, not even men, those boys, icing on the cake. Literally, it was fucking psychotic. It was giving like the Travis Scott Astroworld Stampede. Like, there is no reason you need to be shoving the grandmothers working behind the counter because you're literally running behind the counter to snatch everything off the walls. You should be embarrassed. And in fact, they were, because I was standing there laughing, giggling. What the fuck is going on? I did manage to find a juicy tracksuit. Shout out to the thrift gods. Obviously, they were not looking for green. Chiefs are red and white and gold. Hello? I don't know. They were not looking for green. I spotted a juicy tracksuit. I snatched her up. I said, thank you. Thank you to the thrift gods. You see my pain and you wanted to provide. God bless you. They snatched everything, didn't even look at it, just went to go check out. What the fuck? They're checking everything out. I'm like, this is going to take forever. All I want is my juicy tracksuit. The grandmas like opened up a different register for me. I came up there. I was like, damn, I wish I could have got something. Like, of course, I'm going to make a snarky remark. Of course. I got to make it awkward. Hello, if you're making it awkward, I got to address that you're being weird and making it awkward as well. Like, I got to address the elephant in the room. I was like, yeah, I was just coming in here to shop for my nephew and me. Like, he's a huge Chiefs fan. He's, like, turning 4. It's his birthday almost, I wanted to get him something cool. And the guys are looking at me and they go, yeah, sorry. This is really embarrassing of us. I said, yeah. It is. And I checked out and left. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, that's my rant for the day. I had to get that energy out of the way. That was just psycho to see in person. There's no reason you need to be sprinting over a $15 item. Ever in your life. There's no reason you need to be prying open the doors of a thrift store. Oh, it's wearing $400 pants. You do not need to be prying open the door of a thrift store. Ever. Death. Someone asked, what is your recipe for slay? Speaking of, if I had to give a recipe for slay, a slay recipe for my girlies, honestly, I think the best way to slay is truly just knowing who the fuck you are. And I don't think knowing who you are comes from like attaching attributes to yourself or attaching like ideas such as like I play soccer or I do art. I mean, those are things that you can pull inspiration from. But I think a lot of the attributes that you should consider when it comes to knowing yourself are things like, I'm kind, I'm caring, I enjoy these things currently, I want to project this kind of image, I, embody these kind of ideals. It's a little bit deeper than the labels, but I also think the labely things are important, especially if you drive inspiration from them. So knowing who you are, and also not letting anybody else tell you who the fuck you are. That includes feeling like you can't act a certain way around somebody, or you can't be a certain way, or letting those outside perspectives really control or force you into a box. I think if you have belief and understanding in yourself and you don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks about you, that's the recipe for a slay right there. Okay. I recently had to come to terms with this because I've been around a lot of judgmental bitches, and I don't use that kind of phrase lightly, okay? I really am not around those kinds of people that often, but recently I have been around those people, which is very embarrassing because, like, you're 35. Why are you scared? Hello? Like, do you not have other priorities going on than hating me? Like, I'm so confused. But it's also like a lot of people, especially when they are miserable, the way that they interact with you has a lot to do with how they feel about themselves and nothing to do with how they actually feel about you. So it's like, yeah, of course you hate me because you hate yourself. And I'm like the epitome of calm, cool, collected, which is everything that you're not. So of course you're going to be very upset and angry with me. But also, like, I was about to say sorry, but also, like, I'm not sorry. You should figure that out. Suffer over there, I guess. I don't know what to say. But, like, I will never take on other people's problems in that way. If you hate the way that I interact with the world in a very happy and confident manner, then of course I'm not going to let you drag me to the depths of hell with you. A slay recipe is believing in yourself, knowing who you are, and not letting anybody else interrupt that internal flow. Someone asked, what's your favorite ritual right now? I'm unsure what kind of ritual you're asking for. Is it like a witchy ritual, or is it like a interpersonal ritual? Actually, I have both for you. So fuck it, let's get into it. When it comes to like witchy rituals, especially right now, I love me a money bowl. I love a money bowl always, okay? Like, if I'm trying to manifest one thing, might as well be money. Like, what? Hello? And it's so easy to make. I have on the Patreon like a full PDF on like how to create the money bowl and how I go about it. But I've had my money bowl for about 4 or 5 months. And it's so funny because I went from just like, it's basically just, I use a green bowl and I fill it with salt and cinnamon, bay leaves with my affirmations and my manifestations on them, green candles, honey, different things that can attract money, or just like a place that I can have and hold space on my altar that will manifest money, and a place that I can go when I want to manifest finances. But this thing's overflowing with cash. It's a little crazy to see because whenever I have like a spare couple cents on me or a spare dollar, I'll go in there into my altar and I'll place it in my money bowl. I'll place it there as like a way of like an offering, giving to the universe so it can give back to me. When I tell you there's at least $150 in my money bowl right now, and I just blinked, months have passed, and all of a sudden it's overflowing, that's practical magic for you, okay? And that's one good ritual that I've been doing right now. One that I've really seen the payoff for recently, which is very nice. So that's a great ritual. But when it comes to like daily or weekly rituals, with my boyfriend being so busy and working like 6 days a week, sometimes 7, 8, 9 days a week, which is insane to me, and me working nights, we really don't see each other anymore, which is a little crazy. Like, I'll get home from work and it's midnight, so of course he's asleep, and then like I'll wake up when he's leaving, like he'll say bye to me, and that's about it for like a couple days. So when we do have the occasional day off, I really like to be intentional with those days and at least plan like a fun little date thing. Either he plans it or I plan it, whoever comes up with a fun idea, no pressure. One thing that we've been doing since his days off recently have been on Sunday is we'll get up and we'll make breakfast together. I don't really eat breakfast, but it's so fun to have like a cool, chill morning. We put on a bunch of like NPR Tiny Desk concerts and made bacon. We made pancakes. I made some eggs. It was just so fantastic. And a great way to like slow down and be intentional with people. And I love, once again, sharing meals with people. I think it's a great way to just like really connect and slow down and then also get something yummy out of it. One of my favorite things to do actually when I lived with roommates and back when I lived in the dorms and it was like 4 girls living together is we would get together and we would do like a dinner night and we would all hang out and cook together. Or we would wake up early in the morning and we would all cook breakfast together. I think it's a really fun and unique way to kind of intentionally slow down and reconnect and kind of literally feed each other and the universe around you. I think it's really beautiful. So that's been a favorite ritual of mine recently, at least in my daily life. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, if you want the money bowl ritual, I mean, there's many money bowl spells or money spells that you can look up online. But if you want the exact one, just everything is free on my Patreon once you join. So join the Patreon and then type in money bowl and you'll find it immediately. But love you. Someone said the stress of planning for both Hallow weekends is setting in, girl. We have Hallow weekend coming up. I remember Hallow weekend, like weekends actually plural in college. Like any moment that we could have, we were dressing up, we were going out, we were getting blacked out drunk at the frat houses. Like, of course, hello, like it's the weekend, what else are we supposed to do? Duh. And always, the worst thing about Hallow weekends is I always had an exam or a test, you know, like a Monday or a Tuesday after. There was always that one professor that just like hated young people and hated that we were having fun and obviously knew we were gonna be out. So they'd be like, oh, by the way, exam on Monday. Bitch, shut up. Are you kidding me? If I was a professor, hell no. I want to party and have fun too. Why the fuck would I make anybody do an exam the day after Halloween weekend? Like, I'm chilling. I'll put on a movie. I don't care. We'll put on a informational YouTube video for 2 hours if I have to. Like, I'd be the chillest professor ever. But also, there's a lot of stress behind it. So I think specifically when it comes to Halloween weekend, if you can get your costumes planned early and keep them simple, that's the best way to go about it. If you can do all of your studying the beginning of the week to the point where you only have to review flashcards here and there, that's the best way to go about having an exam afterwards and feeling adequately prepared and eating full meals. If you can adequately prepare for Halloween, you're going to have a good time, okay? Come up with 2 or 3, however many places you're going, fun and easy costumes that don't require a lot. Do not wear those platform boots. You're going to fall down the stairs. Do not wear something that's like so uncomfortable that you cannot have a good time. My favorite costumes and the ones that I had the most fun in are the ones where I was like Post Malone or something back in 2016, where I could just draw on face tattoos, chain smoke cigarettes, braid my hair, and throw on a black turtleneck and call it good. Do you know what I mean? Like, very simple, very simple. If you want to do something complex, do the complex pictures at home, take off the complex things, and then go to the party, okay? I think comfortability is really overlooked on Halloween. Of course, you want to be hot and sexy, but like, keep it simple. One of my Halloween costumes is literally just a latex dress. Like, that's all I need. Latex dress, cute little smoky eye, fun bun, easy peasy, lemon fucking squeezy. Have your costumes planned, keep them simple, keep them comfortable. The funny ones are always the ones that you look at and you're like, damn, I should have done that, you know, while you're wearing like knee-high stockings and like the breeze is passing by on your pussy. You're like, oh, I should have worn the pants. You know what I mean? I learned that really the hard way at raves. I was like, okay, love a rave, but also I'm very jealous of the girls in the hoodies or like the onesies when I am literally like puss out. If you can go comfy, I highly recommend doing that. If you can plan and keep it simple, highly recommend. If you have exams, you need to study for them. Please, for the love of God, do not fail your exams. You're paying so much money for this college. Like, you can prepare. So, do your studying the first couple days of the week, your deep, intense studying. Utilize those days. When Thursday, Friday rolls around, make sure you're on to just having flashcards and reviewing the stuff that you don't know, okay? And then by the day that you do have the exam, after the weekend, The morning of your exam, always just make sure you're doing at least an hour of studying before your exam. If you have time allotted, you will feel adequately prepared. And if you fail it, fuck it. It probably wasn't you. At least you tried. Also, very underrated. Please keep yourself fed. Please, for the love of God, okay? Listen, we love drinking. We love partying. We love having a good time. But no one wants to be the friend who's sloshed out, can't get up, like the messy drunk friend. And the way that you're not the messy drunk friend is by eating enough food that your body can process the alcohol and handle it adequately. Okay? Go get that Subway sandwich. Cook that fun breakfast for everybody in the morning when you're all getting ready, or cook like a fun little easy pasta dish before you're all going out, before the pregame, while everybody's doing their makeup. Cook a little easy marinara and noodle situation. Keep it simple, but please keep yourself fed. Not only will it keep you having more of a good time at the parties, but also your brain's going to be fed. You're going to retain all the information from studying, and you'll be able to adequately remember things and have a good time, and also hopefully pass your exam. Food, you need it. Food is fuel. It will keep you going. It will keep you having fun. And most importantly, be safe. Be safe. The amount of stories I have from Halloween nights where I'm like, I think I should have died. Not that I wanted to, but like, how the fuck did I make it out of that alive? Please, for the love of God, do not have any of those moments this weekend. Stay safe. Get Ubers. Do not drive anywhere. Fuck it. Walk if you have to. Stay with a friend that is aware of your presence and aware of your safety and wants to uphold that, okay? Find a buddy, when they would have, like, you be going to the bathroom or you be going somewhere on a school field trip and they're like, all right, find your class buddy that you're gonna be with. Literally, do that at parties. Be safe. Have fun. Don't take drinks from random strangers, especially on Halloween. Fuck no. But have a good time. Stay sexy, stay hot, stay fed, most importantly. But yeah, I think Halloween weekend, it's a little stressful because it feels like there's a lot going on. But if you chunk it up and make sure that you're preparing, it can be a very, very good time. I don't really think I'm doing anything for Halloween this year. I don't know. I'm very much so in like a comfy era of my life. Last Halloween we went to a rave. That was super fun. I love just going out and partying and drinking and having a good time. Always, 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 always. Hello, party girl for life. But I am entering that like reformed party era where I'm like, I kind of just want to take pictures and then change into sweats and watch a nostalgic movie and probably like eat some chili. Am I 80 years old? Maybe. But also, when you have those energetic ebbs and flows, you have to lean into them. I know I label myself one way, but also like if you have the feeling of like wanting to do something else, you have to lean into that feeling. That's how you uphold that authenticity. That's how you uphold that like true connecting with yourself and understanding yourself, is from feeling those emotions, feeling that desire of what you want to do, and then following it. Not putting yourself into other situations that you know you're not going to enjoy. Like there's been Halloweens where it's like, I want to go out so bad, but I have nobody to go out with. So I just stay home and I sit at home and I'm sad. And it's like, girl, you can go out and party, go to a concert, go to a rave. There's so many events going on in the city. I promise you. Like, it's okay to go out and enjoy yourself, even though maybe it's not the exact situation you were looking for. But still, if it's what you are desiring, you can always make that happen for yourself. You know what I mean? That's how you enact authenticity in your life, following those feelings, following those emotions, and staying true to them. But happy Halloween weekend, ladies. What are we coming on, the first Halloween weekend of the season? Yeah, I feel like in college the parties started like this upcoming weekend. Oh my god, that's crazy. How are we 3 weeks into October? What the fuck is happening? Time is flying by. This is insane. Someone said, boyfriend doesn't let me have guy friends. It makes me feel lonely. I'm friends with 2 girls though. Is your boyfriend your parole officer? Every single time I hear a girl go, my boyfriend won't let me leave the house. My boyfriend won't let me have this friend. My boyfriend won't let me go to this place. My boyfriend has to have my location. I am constantly checking in with my boyfriend. I am constantly walking on eggshells because my boyfriend is around. Bitch, are you a prisoner? Because it's sounding like you are. It sounds like you have a metaphorical ankle monitor on you at all times. And that's not healthy. That is, in fact, quite terrifying. So if your boyfriend feels more like an ankle monitor, like a parole officer, than a loving and doting and husband material boyfriend, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you locking yourself up? Please, for the love of God, free yourself immediately. Prison break, all right? Lots of boyfriends fucking up. My boyfriend comes home angry all the time. What do? I made a rule for myself after my last relationship that I refuse to ever live with a angry man again. Ever. And that is for my own mental and personal safety. And you know what? This applies for every single man that I interact with in my life. Because as soon as I'm around a man and he starts getting angry, he starts losing control of his emotions, he becomes emotional and enraged over little simple things, I lose every single ounce of my respect. Because women are required to maintain that image every single second of the day. And men think they can just get off, oh, this is how I show my power as a man. I'm allowed to be angry because I'm a man. No, shut up. Shut up. Literally, shut up and go sit in the corner and think about what the fuck you just did, because you're acting like a toddler. And that is not hot and sexy at all. At all. I hate an angry man. It is my one biggest pet peeve and probably the biggest red flag you can look for in a man. And I'm not saying, oh, men can't show their emotions, men can't indulge in their emotions. No, I don't give a fuck about all that. Of course, everybody's going to be angry every once in a while. It is the lack of emotional control and understanding of self to realize that you screaming and yelling and having an attitude is affecting everybody else around you. Girl, this isn't your show. This isn't, your day. I'm not going to let you affect everybody else in the room because you have a bad fucking attitude. I don't give a fuck, actually. Go be mad somewhere else. I don't have time for all that. And I think it's honestly a great rule for everybody to have in their life, because I just cannot deal. I start getting violent too. You know what I mean? Like, it is the one biggest thing that I simply cannot put up with in any sort of interpersonal relationship in my life, whether it's romantic or even like a coworker or anything like that. I did not realize my dad dealt with severe anger issues until I grew up. And that statement right there says a lot, because I think a lot of people experience fathers that are very, very angry, and that's the only way they know them. They are fighting that battle publicly in front of other people. Whereas my dad made it a mission. He knew my anger problems are a huge issue. And I never, ever, ever want my children to see me this way, because I never want them to have to take on this energy. I never want them to have to even think about becoming this angry person. I want to be a cool, calm, collected, happy father. And if I feel like I am putting myself into a place that is angry, I am going to remove myself from the situation. I did not know he dealt with those problems until I was like 18. And he was like, oh yeah, I want to get a tattoo that represents the anger problems I've been fighting all my life. I'm like, what anger problems? What are you talking about? That's a real fucking man right there. That is a real man with emotional understanding that his emotions affect other people, knowing what kind of person they want to present themselves as, knowing they want to be a good person. And there are times where you can, promote these emotions, and sometimes where you have to keep them to yourself or take them somewhere else. That is true strength. That is what being a man really fucking is. So every single time I encounter a man who is just angry, hell no. What a fucking pussy. I don't have time for all that. No, I don't. I don't have time to be around that energy. It is so draining. It is so demeaning. It is so enraging. I feel unsafe both mentally and physically. And I do not want any of you to ever feel that way. I felt that way with my ex for way too long. And after that, I made it clear I will never be in a relationship like that ever fucking again, for my own safety and also just to promote a healthy relationship. Because you have to think about it. If you're going to be with this person, you're going to have kids with this person. Do you want your children seeing this man act this way? If the answer is no, you need to get the fuck out of there, because why are you sitting here and experiencing it? Also, I think you have to be clear. Like, listen, everybody's going to have bad days. Everybody's going to be angry, whatever. I have BPD. I cannot take on heavy emotions like that constantly. It is going to make me a shell of a human. So I had to be clear with my boyfriend about that. Like, it's okay if you're having a bad day, but sometimes I cannot take on, like, I understand we as partners need to be a little bit like therapist-y in that sort of sense. Like, this is my safe person. I want to be able to experience every wave of emotion with them. You know what I mean? But also, sometimes there's emotions where, yes, you are required to process them on your own. And anger, for me personally, is one that I need you to take elsewhere until, you know, you're able to actually sit down and have a real conversation with me. We're able to get to a point. If you need to experience anger, that's fine. Go take it to the skate park. Go skate it out. Go fucking run. Go play soccer. I don't care. I cannot have it around me. And I made that very clear to my boyfriend. Like, I get it. We're all going to be angry sometimes. There's going to be slip-ups here and there. I'm not going to hold you to that, but I cannot have an angry man coming in my house every single fucking day, or else it's not going to work at all for both of our emotional safety. And I think making that clear in your relationships is so important. It is the ultimate red flag in a man, is lack of emotional intelligence and control. Period. So if you find yourself coming home to an angry man every day, girl, why are you there? Once again, but yeah, my biggest pet peeve. I work with a lot of angry men, and it is just like, God, that's so embarrassing of you. That is so embarrassing of you. Like, wow, why are you 35 acting like a infant? I'm scared, not for myself, but like for you and who you're around. Like, that's scary. My God. Someone said tips going into hookup culture. I'm not going to talk long about hookup culture, but I am going to tell you a quote that actually changed my whole perspective on casual sex and like, who is it really casual for? Because it sure as hell is not the woman. Let me be real. There is nothing casual about getting to have sex with me. I think that literally changed my whole perspective. If I was going into the single like world or whatever, that would really affect the way that I thought about sex and like how I interacted with it. There is nothing casual about getting to have sex with me. I think that is something that every single one of you should be repeating through your heads constantly, especially if you're in the dating scene or like the casual dating scene. Like, who is it really casual for? Who is truly benefiting here? Ask yourself that. If it's you, great. Let's get into it. Aw, this is precious. How to comfort a friend who gets paranoid off the Zaza, the Zuzu, the weed. Well, that is actually so cute. That's so cute, because we all have that one friend where it's like everybody's having a good time and then you look over at them and they're just like staring off into the corner, like manually breathing and not really saying anything. And you don't want to like pinpoint them and be like, are you okay? That's the last thing you want to ask somebody who's like paranoid off the charts. I have one friend who will like take a hit of the blunt and then be like, does anybody see the hat man in the corner? Like, girl, don't bring that up. No one wants to think about that. But also, like, are you okay? What are you going through right now? Because obviously it's not something good. When you have a friend who's like pretty paranoid or like not the easiest to ease into a more relaxed state, I think trying to make them giggle, interacting with them or not interacting with them and giving them space and making them cozy is the best thing to do. With my one friend, like sometimes I'll understand she wants to interact with us. She just can't think of the words. So like we'll just laugh and have a good time like at her. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to interact, but like we're going to include her in the combo and still pretend like she's talking, but like try and make her laugh and giggle. That's also a great option if you think that they want to be included. But sometimes, and I get this way too, where it's like I'm at the function and I get too high and honestly I just want to sit in the corner and observe and not really be addressed and just like chill. So like we'll throw like a blanket on her, like tuck her in the corner of the couch, like have a good time over there, girl. Like, it's okay. You can just observe and have a good time. Like, let me put a little bowl of popcorn next to you, a nice drink next to you, so you don't have to ask for anything, because words are hard enough, especially in that moment. Like, let me make sure that you are set up for success, so then we don't have to worry about you over there. You know what I mean? And also, don't make fun of the weird paranoid person. That's going to make it way harder on them. Honestly, don't make fun of anybody when they're on any sort of like hallucinogen, psychoactive substance. I don't think that is a great way to proactively make the situation go better. I think you should really just focus on like laughing, enjoying, having a good time, making sure everybody's comfortable. This is not the time for personal jokes, all right? It's going to make everybody else spiral. Just have a good time. Make sure they're comfortable and understand like when they want to be connected and when they maybe want to disconnect. I think that emotional intelligence is really important, especially in those situations. I also think it's okay to check in and be like, what do you need? Not how are you doing? Not are you okay? What can I get you right now? Do you have some water? Do you want a blanket? You know, like offer them things. I think that's the best way to go about it. You guys, this is just a little warning PSA for all my girlies, especially the ice cream lovers. If you go to Cold Stone Creamery during this time of year, they have a special little thing called Boo Batter. Boo Batter. Yes. Do I know what it's made of? No. Do I know the flavor profile? Not at all. But it is this dark blue ice cream, essentially like black blue, and I saw that and I said, yes, give me the fattest scoop here on this earth. Put some Kit Kats in it, put some brownie bits, put some gummy bears. Let's get into it. When I tell you my toilet bowl has been boo blue this entire week since eating it, I don't know what is in it, but I know there is an exorbitant amount of food dye that I probably should not be ingesting. And it has been quite literally insanity in the bathroom. Sorry, so sorry, so sorry. So gross, so TMI, so ew, girl, what are you even doing? But also, like, the girls need to know, is it delicious? Am I thinking about ordering it again every single day? Yes, of course. But the amount of bathroom breaks I've had to take during this episode is a little cuckoo bananas, if I do say so myself. Someone asked, is divine femininity only achievable through spiritual practice? No, I don't think so. And I think anybody can hold the divine feminine energy. You know that couple on TikTok? Fuck, what are their names? Levi and what is the guy's name? I don't know, but she's this bombshell redhead, and then her boyfriend always cooks for her. Love them endlessly. I think they are the perfect example of like a male and a female both upholding divine feminine energy in their lives. I think they both are a perfect example of that. And I think simply it all comes from, and I think the divine feminine energy in itself can be achievable in the way you uphold and connect to yourself, as well as like the comfortability that you feel and like the honoring that you give to your body in that sort of sense. So ways that I uphold and protect my divine femininity in my life is making sure I'm taking care of myself. Little things like maybe you're a face mask girly, treating yourself that way. Maybe you're a lotion girly, rubbing on lotion on my legs after I get out of the shower, or a good jasmine oil. That's like a little materialistic, but that is like a very simple way to connect and honor your body in that sort of way. Understanding that like we as humans are all going to look vastly different and completely different. Ultimately honoring and uplifting that way that you do look, no matter what, in that sort of sense, you know, appreciation for what it is at its bare bones. Also like indulging in my body in dance, in pleasureful sex, in sensuality, sometimes even Pilates. Like Pilates and working out is also a great way to connect to your body and really just uplift its qualities, and also connect to it in a way that maybe, you know, divine femininity is, I think it's all about like honoring and like almost like worshiping in a sense. And I think working out can be a sort of worship in strength building and in simply just movement. I think that's important. I think sensuality is a big part of it, being in love with yourself, showing yourself love, uplifting love in connection to your heart and your body, while also maintaining qualities in your daily life that are like holding yourself accountable, holding other people accountable, trying to go about things like the calmest and coolest way possible, really just upholding and uplifting that sense of like peace and white light in your daily life and in your interactions, holding space for everybody while also like setting boundaries for yourself and other people and holding people to that, not accepting less than what you deserve. Things like that are very spiritual ways that you can enact divine femininity in your life. And divine femininity isn't necessarily like a male or female thing, like men shouldn't be feminine. That's bullshit. Like everything's a spectrum. We're all going to be existing on different sorts of spectrums and different ways of how we want to present ourselves. I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. I think the human condition of it all is amazing, and I think we should stop trying to fit people into boxes. And you know, I think men can also indulge in this sense of like sensuality, play, enjoyment, white light, positive experience. And in fact, I love my divine feminine kings out there because like it's such a safe environment to be in. But a lot of the women that I look towards that I'm like, wow, that is true, like divine femininity. They are strong, they are powerful, they are calm, they are cool, they are connected. They are one with their body. They are protecting but also uplifting of their body. They are protecting but uplifting of other women. You know, they move freely. They move like almost in a flow state, almost like the way that like water would in a river, like cool and cleansing, ever flowing, that sort of way. That's like that's a very odd and very out there way to describe divine femininity, but in my brain that's kind of how I see it, and it's something that I have a hard time stepping into. I definitely have some like control issues is one way to put it, I would say, and that's one thing that I really try and work on. Whenever I'm having like a situation where it's like out of my control, I start panicking a little bit. So one way that I step into my divine femininity in my daily life is, you know, when someone approaches me with anger or with malice, or I'm having a situation that I can't control, sometimes you just got to throw your hands up and be like, not my circus, not my monkeys, not my problem. So sorry you're feeling that way, but also I'm not going to let that interfere with my daily life. Like I'm not going to let that interfere with this like peace and tranquility that I have spent so much time building up within my own internal world. I'm not going to let the chaos of it all affect that. I was in like a very deep divine feminine state, flow state, one might say, when my boyfriend met me. So much so that on our first date, we were at the park and I lost my car keys somewhere in the park. I don't know where. I lost them though. And he's like a panicker sometimes. So he's like, oh my gosh, shouldn't you be worried? Like, how are you going to get home? Like, you don't have car keys. I was like, oh, no worries at all. I know I have a spare. I'll just go grab my spare and I'll be fine. And that like shocked him, but also like that was like a peak moment in my life where I was like aware, and he also made me aware of it, which is, I think, is very important, of like, that was crazy, but also like that was powerful. Like that was really awesome to see that it's like you don't let these outside things affect you. You always have a backup plan. You always know it's going to work out with you. You always just lean into the universe's timing, the universe's understanding of you, and you trust that it'll all work out no matter what. I love that. I love the divine feminine is like a very interesting kind of energy to tap into, but overall it is a very relaxing, calming, cleansing, once again, river flowing state kind of energy. And if you want to see physical representations of that, that couple on TikTok, I feel so bad I'm forgetting their names. I think the girl's name is Levi and whoever her boyfriend is, they I think are a great example of a couple, two people living in that energy. And I love watching their videos because it is just so peaceful, relaxing. It is a breath of fresh air. You know who else is like that on socials and stuff is Nara Smith. I love her energy, the calm, cool, relaxed tone of voice. A little bit of satire, you gotta admit, a little bit of it is satire, but overall her whole presence is very like calm, chill. Once again, river flowing like state. I love that energy. I aspire to be like that every single day. I have a little bit of a harder time than some people, but it's something that I still try and, work towards. Someone said, not much to say, but got caught by loss prevention at Walmart today. Please pray for me. Have I told you about the time I got caught stealing? So it takes one time and then you'll never do it again. I promise you. But there's something about being a teenager and like really seeking dopamine like hits very deeply that causes you to start like shoplifting. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Everybody I knew was shoplifting, and it was like not a lot. Like I wasn't going in and like stealing things. I mean, I wasn't like like the men at the thrift store grabbing armfuls of shit and running. Hell no. I was like maybe an eyeliner, for the rush, and that's bad. There's other ways you can get your dopamine fix in. Please do not steal. Especially please do not steal from small businesses. Walmart, Target, I don't give a fuck about, if I'm being honest. But I was at Target. It was like my first week of college, and me and all my girlies were going to Target to go shop or whatever. And if there was something that I could pick up and put in my pocket, occasionally I would do so. Anyways, it was like 2 pairs of underwear or something. Very stupid. It's always very stupid. You just shouldn't be doing it. It's going to put you at risk. Same way like drunk driving. Like, please just don't do it. If it's something that you can obviously prevent yourself from getting in trouble, it's not worth it. As I'm sure you're feeling, it's from the anxiety of it all. But I went to Target and I grabbed a couple of pairs of underwear and like put them in my pocket or whatever. And we're walking around, we're checking things out. I think it was actually around Halloween time. So we were just looking at all the decorations, smelling all the candles, whatever. And I see this guy like walk past us, like stare at us, and then keep walking. And this man kept walking past us, following us around the store. At this point, it was fairly creepy. I thought he was like a weirdo, like a man who was stalking us. No, that was loss prevention. Because as soon as I walked up to check out at the self-checkout station or whatever, he walked up 2 inches behind me and goes, "So are you going to pay for the underwear in your pocket?" I have never felt my heart literally stop before, but in that moment, like, it's $15 underwear, and what, you're gonna go to jail for that? Like, what the fuck? Target and Walmart do not fuck around at all. It really is not worth it. Somehow I managed to get my way out of it because I remembered that they were doing like a 5 for $25 deal on underwear. So I was like, I turned around, I looked at him, and I go, "Yeah, but can I get 2 more so then I get the deal? Like, can I get a couple more so then I get the $25 or whatever, and I'm not paying $30?" And he looked to me. I don't think he was really expecting me to have an answer or anything like that, and that caught him off guard. So I went back. I quickly threw the underwear out of my pocket that didn't have tags, grabbed 5 random underwears that did have tags. None of them fit me. I was just hustling as fast as I could, grabbed them, went back to checkout, bought all the underwear, and got out of there. That's the only reason I made it out of there. But after that, I literally cannot steal. Like, it scared me so much. So please live through my experience. It is not worth it at all, okay? You don't need to catch a charge over a $5 pair of underwear or a $15 eyeliner. And a lot of these places nowadays, especially with like the surveillance state really growing, there's a lot of cameras everywhere. Anywhere you go, you should always expect to be on camera. I think that's really fucked up and weird. But like, please understand, like, especially when you go in department stores, someone is watching you. Someone is ultimately always watching you. Bring back stealing. No, I'm just kidding. Speaking of, as Halloween approaches, that means we are approaching another confessionals episode. Exciting things. So please wait. Please follow the Instagram at Hannah Marlene. I will be posting a separate confessionals little Q&A there. I believe I'll be doing confessionals in 2 weeks, so stay tuned. Think back on every moment of your life. Think back on all the things that you've experienced, the craziest things you've ever thought of. I will be here the Tuesday before Halloween to expel those demons from your life, so then you can go into this Halloween feeling holy, cleansed, purified, and ready to party as hard as you fucking can, okay? So if you have confessionals, keep them to yourself. 2 weeks, I believe. Let me check the calendar. Tuesday the 28th, the Tuesday or the 29th before Halloween, I will be doing a confessionals episode. So stay tuned. Big things coming. Aw, this is precious. What's the biggest goal you've achieved so far? I think there's a lot of things that you guys have seen me achieve that you find like cool or interesting, whether it's numbers, whether it's like continuation of creation. But there's one thing that I achieved when I was younger that I think I'm the most proud of. And I think a lot of it stems from like a lot of the work that I do that I am kind of trying to work back on and unpack is like I really sought validation from my parents and my family. Oh my God, I'm going to tear up, not us being in therapy, but I really sought that validation because I never really got it when I was younger. It was always, you can do more, you can work harder, there's more you can always do. And there was one thing that I achieved when I was younger that really felt like, okay, damn, this is the first time like they've been like, there's no notes, they're just proud. And it was a drawing competition when I was in like high school. And it was a competition that they did every year. It was to promote like, I guess like diversity and understanding and more like world culture and connection, especially to like how we can do better and how we can interpret that through art. And I won. It was about, I don't know, I want to say at least like 2,000 entries. And I did this huge charcoal drawing and I won. Not only did I win out of the drawing section, but I won the entire competition. I won like $1,500. I won a scholarship. I won multiple trophies. Like it was big. It was big. The school district I was in was massive. There was like 8 high schools, like humongous. And that, when I walked across that stage, that is the first time I have ever felt like, okay, damn, no notes, you know, I made my parents proud. Not only to make my parents proud, but since I'm always chasing that, like I made myself proud. And that, it kind of sucks because like I don't think I can note any other times that I have felt like as proud in that moment. And I understand that's coming from a place of like, I need validation from my parents, but also like, I have done a lot in my life that I'm very proud of. Every single day I wake up and I get up and I do something, I'm proud of myself, period. But that is the one time in my life that I was like, damn, bitch, like, you did that. You did that. I mean, get $1,500 at like a 16-year-old. You're like, I'm rich. Let's go. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's probably the one biggest accomplishment. And I know it seems silly and it's like, oh, a drawing competition from like years ago. It does seem silly, but also it's okay to have those silly things that you're proud of. I think the silliest things that you're proud of are probably the most important things. They taught you something, you know what I mean? And I think it's important to be proud of yourself every day, but also I think it's important to set big goals and accomplish them. Failing is one thing, but also being able to accomplish them and being able to like persevere through it all and make yourself proud is so important. And if you're not looking to make yourself proud every single day, then what the fuck are you doing? And keyword, making yourself proud. Not your parents. Don't do it for anybody else but you. Okay, last question, but I'm scrolling through everything now to kind of see like what have I gotten duplicates of, and a lot of people are asking like how to have more sex in their relationship. Like how do I spice it up? Someone was like, my partner just started Zoloft. Like, I don't know if we're gonna have sex. Like my sex drive is way higher than my boyfriend's, or like my boyfriend's sex drive is way higher than mine. How do I balance it? And the one thing they really don't talk about, like relationships, is like, yeah, you're going to have to find the ebb of flow and schedules and date planning and showing each other love and planning dinners and going to family events. But no one ever talks about sex. No one ever talks about sex. I would love to be a sex therapist. I think sex is so important. I think it's so interesting. And I love chit-chatting just generally about the taboo. I don't know. I just feel like we live in a day and age where we either don't talk about sex or we talk like about sex in like a commodity way, when in reality a lot of you are out here having sex, but none of you are out here making love. None of you are. And that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart. Okay, we need more love making in here. All right, we need more like baby making without the babies. You know what I mean? Like they call it making love for a reason, and with the casualness that sex has become, the whole casual word around sex is definitely not casual. I will tell you that. Sex is important. Sex should be uplifted and upheld. There's a lot of planning, I think, that people don't think about that needs to come before sex. There's a lot of like interpretive messages that you have to understand from sex. And I think there's a lack of communication. There's a lack of understanding of self. So how the fuck are you going to connect to someone else when you can not even connect with yourself? When it comes to relationships and simply spicing it up, getting on the same kind of sex routine, understanding those interpretive messages of when to enact or when's a good time. I think a lot of the things that people are missing out of when it comes to sex and relationships is just like, you're getting busy with your everyday life, but when are you making time for each other? When you naturally make time for each other and you naturally build that romance unsexually in your life through love, through, cuddling, through showing affection, through however you do your love language and however your partner enjoys their love language, sex will naturally come. Literally. When you focus on uplifting and maintaining the relationship and showing each other, constant love, showing each other constant affection and appreciation, even if you don't see each other every day. Like, I wake up and maybe I haven't seen my boyfriend in 2 days because we've both been working so much, but best believe there's always a note for me on the fridge, telling me to have a good day and they love me. Little things like that, that's what keeps the spark alive. I know a lot of people, and I will say this, I mean, I have said it before, I think a lot of people would be like, well, just go buy a new sex toy. It's like, I mean, sure, but that's not the problem. Like, we haven't fucked in a month. Like, that's the problem. And I get that. Where are you upholding your relationship? Where are you celebrating each other outside of sex? Sex will naturally come, but your connection in your relationship should not just be from sex. I think that puts too much pressure on the performance of it all. I think it puts too much pressure on the individuals to kind of have sex, which in turn is like the least sexiest thing you can do. When you're only connecting to your partner through sex, it's going to make it not fun. It's going to make it feel like a chore. But when sex comes naturally through the upliftment of love and dates and planning and showing up and making space for your partner and getting emotional, being intimate in those sort of ways, the sex does naturally follow. And we're all going to be on a different schedule. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's going to be, busy with one thing or maybe working too much, and like, I get it. Maybe it's not going to happen as much as you want, but those moments where you do have a moment to really show love to your partner or like have that date night, have that date day, go for it. And I think it's a conversation that you should have with your partner. And I don't think it's a conversation where you should be like, we're not having sex enough. That's going to make people feel pressured into sex, which is something that nobody should ever feel. I think the conversation should be, hey, I don't think we're like dating anymore. You know what I mean? I think we've gotten too caught up in the routine of life. I think we've gotten too caught up in being adults and, all the responsibilities that comes with that. And I'm so happy to be able to share a home and share these responsibilities with you. But also, like, I miss us. I miss those days where, you would spend hours together or days together because you just had the time or whatever it was. Like, I miss when we would go on these dates. I miss the things that we used to do. I miss when we would allocate time for each other. Is there a way that we can do that? Taking the love language test together if you don't know each other's love languages. Doing one thing a week that really celebrates your partner's love language. I guarantee it will naturally come back, okay? And yeah, I think talking about sex in relationships is important, but I don't think anybody should ever feel pressured. When you do converse about sex, I think it should be in a fun and sexy way. And like, what turns you on? Do you want to do something later? Things like that. I think that is the best way to really have conversations about it and have those conversations, okay? They're fun, they're sexy, they don't have to be so scary. But yes, I think the romance is missing. The love making is missing. It's about connection, We want to uphold and uplift that sensuality in our relationships. Always. But yeah, get your freak on, girl. Go have a good time. Go uplift your love. Go celebrate your love on some day that you guys have off together. I guarantee you will be fucking like rabbits afterwards. I guarantee. Anyways, I love you all. Happy Tuesday. I hope you have a great week. This is going to be a great month for us all. Stay sane these Hallow weekends. Don't get too crazy. But if you have any stories, save them for the confessionals episode. And if you want to see more from me, join the Patreon. Patreon.com/smokesashshorty. I answer every single one of your questions. And follow the Instagram if you want to see some recipes, things I've been up to. But with that being said, love you. Stay sexy, stay sane, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.